and why now? And I think in order to understand the background to this debate, you have to go back to the Second Intifada, waged by the Palestinians, during which the Israeli government decided that they had to stiffen up their own supporters, and they took a decision which all Israeli embassies, different parts of the world, different continents, were told about and had to carry out, which is tar everyone who attacks us and opposes us as an anti-Semite. So this is not a decision that was taken here or in Washington, D.C. This was a decision that was taken by the Israeli government in Israel. And subsequently, the French were the toughest following this line, not allowing Palestinian demonstrations while the French equivalent of the Jewish Defense League was allowed to march through the streets of Paris, banning now anything to do with the BDS movement, which, as John pointed out, is the first mass non-violent movement to get Palestinian rights, to defend Palestinian rights, and create different forms of society in that region. Germany, of course, we know people are scared to talk about this. They weren't in the 60s and 70s, they are now. It's a relatively recent phenomenon. Britain had, by and large, preserved quite a good balance, I think. Different sides had their views, newspapers published different opinions, etc., etc. This is now under attack. And it's under attack, one, of course, under the pressure from the Israeli government, but secondly, because something has happened inside the British Labour Party which took everyone by surprise, and which has become a useful way to target and attack the people around Jeremy Corbyn, who is known as an old and long supporter of the Palestinian right to self-determination. So the combination of these things in the current conjuncture in Britain has posed this crisis, which is being fought in the most vulgar, offensive, and disgusting fashion possible. What is at dispute? Anti-Semitism. What is anti-Semitism? Anti-Semitism is a deep-rooted racist ideology which emerged first and foremost, talking about the last few centuries, not going back thousands of years, in Europe. It was linked very much to religion. And it was linked to the assault on Judaism theologically, ideologically, by different forms of violence. Pogroms have been referred to, which were effectively supported by the church in these countries. And this applies to all the three factions of Christianity. Catholicism, of course, we know that hardened ideologues believe that the Jews were responsible for the killing of Christ. This goes very deep in certain parts of Catholic culture. Martin Luther, the great reformer, was a well-known anti-Semite. The Russian Orthodox Church actually promoted and helped to organize, together with the Tsarist palace, the Black Hundreds who carried out pogroms in Russia. It's not an accident that many Jews who didn't become Zionists became Bolsheviks, Mensheviks, social revolutionaries, organizing in that particular way to try and defeat the system which had been oppressing them for such a long time. And sometimes it's fashionable these days to sort of attack that revolution and wish it hadn't taken place. Had it not taken place, the first people who would have suffered pogroms on a massive scale would have been the Jews of Russia. Because that was the